Well, our top focus on the show today, researchers at the University of Hong Kong have said they have proved that a Hong Kong man was infected with COVID-19 for a second time. This is the world's first such documented case. The 33-year-old IT worker was cleared of COVID and discharged from a hospital in April. He tested positive for the virus again after returning from Spain earlier this month. The HKU research team said genetic sequencing showed the virus strains contracted by him in April and August were clearly different. The study has been accepted by the Clinical Infectious Diseases Journal, is what the researchers have said. Well, to talk more about this, we're now joined by Dr. Jaiprakash Mulyal, ex-principal, CMC Vellore and leading epidemiologist. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. Your reaction to this, because, you know, this is something that we've been talking about for a long time, fears over reinfection. There was a case in Delhi as well of a policeman who was infected in March and that got reinfected again a few weeks ago. But this case in Hong Kong is the first properly researched and documented one.
Correct. What is impressive about this particular finding is that we had expected this to occur more frequently than it is happening now. Now, the question is, you'll ask, what happens? How does it happen? There are two issues here. A person who has already been infected by a virus very often acquires immunity, but may permit transient colonization of his nose, throat, or gut. This is a well-known phenomenon. In coronavirus, for some reason, we were not finding it. Now here there is an added spin to it. They have said that there is a difference genetically in the virus isolated. I cannot guess what the consequence is. If it's a significant difference, that means it will be a genetic variant. But by and large, that probability is low. So without more information, it is difficult to predict how this will turn out. For example, because he got it, it does mean that he got it from somebody. So there will be a spread of that around other people also. But knowing coronavirus behavior so far, it looks like this will not be genetically too variant, requiring a different construction or vaccine or anything. But I am not sure.
All right. In fact, I was going to ask you about that, whether this would mean another, what this would mean, in fact, for the vaccine. As we know, there are, hundreds of companies and countries that are racing to produce the first vaccine. But do you think that this is a one-off case? This is something that is going to be rare, these cases of reinfection?
The fact that reinfection is rare is a fascinating thing about coronavirus. For example, a polio vaccinated child or adult, fully vaccinated with IgG, there's a 24% chance, if given a virus of polio, can recolonize transiently. So it's a very well-known phenomenon in viral world. So in this particular case, coronavirus has been holding fast and the humans have not been permitting it to reinfect. Now, this is the first case or second case maybe, but it's interesting.
And Doctor, but this has a big impact on people who have recovered from COVID. So far, we thought that they're safe from a reinfection. And of course, we're asking them to donate their plasma to help other patients right now. But the period of safety, that is something that we don't know very, very clearly, whether it's for 3 months, 6 months, a year. How long do they remain safe? How long do those antibodies remain? There have been studies about how long antibodies remain in Spain, in Europe. There have been these studies which say that they could even disappear after a few months.
I know that. And also, there is also another group who believe the immunity is quite solid, can last for quite some time. So the question comes up, is this variation they mentioned in their article, saying that there is this sequence variation is very common in viral. It may not amount to much. So we can fairly be certain this is one of those which doesn't require a new antibody or a new vaccine. Unless, of course, it is so, in which case I don't know. At the moment, I am fairly certain this one-off is just an incidental one, nothing to be concerned about.
Right. And finally, Doctor, this just goes to show how You know, it's been 8-9 months of this disease, and there's still so much that all of you and all of us, you of course, doctors, are still learning about the disease.
Correct. We are learning. It's a new one, and that's why, because the people who presented the paper presented it as a carrier case, the asymptomatic case. So we don't know whether if it produced disease again, then it would have been a different story. In this particular patient, there was no evidence of corona disease. That much I know.
All right. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us here at NDTV.
You're welcome.